Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Kevin?
Here.
Nicole?
Here.
Mark?
Here.
Bob?
Here.
Rod?
Here.
You want to move the other stuff over now, Patty? Or?
Okay. Need a motion for that.
I need a motion to move 10 and 11 so that people from zoning from the county can go home after we get theirs done.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
I have a motion a second to move 10 and 11 to the top.
Who's seconded?
Me.
Okay,
Sorry.
thanks.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against say nay. You're in. Comprehensive plan adoption by ordinance.
Is that just a straight?
That was the email that was sent to the board on Friday with the changes from the last meeting that Daryl revised it. So you are approving it by ordinance, which means it's a roll call vote and there's an ordinance.
So you need a motion then for that effect?
Don't we typically have to call out if we're approving anything we have in our past agenda on the agenda? Just as comprehensive plan adoption by ordinance.
Do you have an issue with the way that it's written on the agenda?
Yeah, aren't we supposed to have approval? Like approval of comprehensive plan adoption by ordinance. That's how all other approvals have been written when we needed approval. But it's not, that question's not for you, Patty, because you don't write this. Rod, you write this agenda.
Yes, and I mean, yes, I come up with the stuff on the agenda. I mean, Patty goes through both of it, so, I mean,
Well, that could just be a broad base. So it's a line item for-
So my question is, can we approve it if it's not called out on the agenda?
For this, the way it's written on the agenda, it is absolutely legal because you are adopting an ordinance to amend your plan.
Just want to make sure.
Okay. Any other item you have a question on, you'll have to bring it up again. But
Okay.
this one is written correctly.
Thank you.
So a motion to adopt the comprehensive plan adoption by ordinance. What's the right,
Yeah. What's the right wording without the word approval in there?
You are adopting an ordinance amending the code of Town of McMillan, Part 2, General Legislation, Chapter 255, the comprehensive plan.
pretty sure that's what I said.
Sure, that's what I heard.
And I'm seconding that.
Do we need for any other discussion on this stuff? I have a motion in a second.
You guys all got the revisions from Friday and Daryl and Kevin,
Yes.
Nicole,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
Bob,
Yes.
Rod?
Yes. I need a motion for number 11. Approval, disapproval list of properties submitted by rezone.
I make a motion to approve or disapprove the list of properties submitted for rezone. Do I have to call it number 1 and then number 2?
We put it on the agenda that way because that's how the plan commission approved it,
Okay,
so yes, please.
okay. So number 1.
Yes.
They were approved as 1A and 1B, and that was per Colorado County, and we talked about having it, not doing it as 1 and 2, but 1A and 1B.
I think the bigger thing was just making sure the list was, it was
That-
two different
that's
items.
From
Okay.
your message with me that day was Dominic.
Okay, I think that the concern was just making sure it was 2 items because Dorothy was part of one of the lists. So just
Right.
making sure it's 2, it was 2 items you're
separate items.
choosing to approve or disapprove. Because the plan commission approved it as 2 separate items so that she could recuse herself from the first list.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion on this? Can this be a yea or an A, or does it have to be a roll call?
I do it the other way. Kevin,
Yes.
Nicole,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
Bob,
Yes.
Rod?
Yes. Are we back up to the top now?
Yeah.
What are you doing number 2?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Okay, I make a motion to approve or disapprove the list of properties submitted for rezone. Number 2 on the agenda, list of the parcels submitted from DATCP.
Are you motioning to approve or disapprove?
Approve. Oh, approve, sorry.
Thank you.
Approved list of properties submitted for rezone.
Second.
God, all these rules. So I have a question. Assuming that both 1 and 2 are approved, what are the next steps so that I just know what happens next?
So it will,
You say, we'll receive your documentation of the approval process,
Okay.
and then we'll do the notifications and hold the hearings from our side of it. And now we'll probably, this might be a little odd, but we'll send it back to you essentially confirming that you agree with the rezones.
Okay.
You already did,
Yeah.
right? But it's a formality.
So with the notifications that are sent to the citizens that live in the township, are you notifying the clerk then saying that this has been complete, so that way we know in case somebody were to call the township? Okay.
yes, we can make sure.
We can, but we have to also, it goes through our ERC, and then it has, the final approval is through the board, county board.
Okay.
And once it's through the county board, then we're
I just wanna be, in case somebody calls, we're not involved with everything, so it's keeping us, you know, at least Patty involved would be helpful
Absolutely.
from my standpoint.
And yeah, she has the documents posted to your website as well, so that people can reference them.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes.
Any further discussion? Ken,
Yes.
Nicole,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
Bob,
Yes.
Rod.
Yes.
Okay, guys, don't leave after the meeting because every one of you have to sign this.
Okay.
Thank you for coming tonight.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Very much.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks for all your help and input in getting the plan together.
So we're.
Moving on now, back up to the top, approval of town board meeting minutes for November 8th.
Motion to approve November 8th, 2021 minutes as presented.
Any discussion on that?
Rob, when she puts in fire department business, when it says Bauer does not believe, she needs to clarify what Bauer was speaking at that point. Because there's many Bauers who do things.
What number is that, Lori?
It is number 8, unfinished business, fire department report.
So are you thinking like L Bauer or R Bauer?
Just that would be fine.
Yeah.
We just need clarification as to what Bauer is.
If it's in the fire department report, it'll say chief or assistant chief. If it says Bauer, it's Rod.
Okay, well, I just,
As chair.
Okay.
I just wanted to make it clear who was doing
So we'll
it.
just put it a hard on this.
Any further discussion on that or changes? If there is none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against, nay. Ayes have it. Plan commission,
Okay, well, we met on the 9th, and we, planning commission, we approved again using use of telephone for media, for attendance for commissioners. And we did approve the CSM for Andrew Berger. He was present at our meeting, which was requested. The only recommendation that we made with the passage is if he ever sells lot 3, because there are 3 lots, and they all are in compliance with the 10 acres, he's in general ag now, that in the deed or somewhere it be documented that they share a driveway. But so it legally protects whoever buys that property. And the only question that was brought up was about the roads. Well, our road ordinances, we don't have a driveway ordinance. We do have a culvert size ordinance, which he is aware of. So, like I said, the plan commission did approve it. And obviously, you already know that we approved the list compiled from the residents and the list compiled for the DATC. And the reason that we divided it up when I spoke to Lori and to Dominic at that time is because two of the commissioners were on that list, and ethically, we could not vote on something that pertains to our own. And no meeting this month, we're done. Because otherwise it would fall between Christmas and New Year's. Plan Commission has been noted for years not to have one between there. I don't anticipate anything unless the board comes up with something they want us to meet again.
Okay. Do you have a map of that property where the driveway comes in?
I do at home.
Okay, I'm just curious, and just for my curiosity, how that driveway actually runs in and how it affects the three properties.
I'm Mr. Berger.
Okay.
I have a map here, if you'd
Can
like
I
to
just
look at it.
peek at it? Thank you so much.
Anything else, Dorothy?
No, that was it.
Okay. Kirby, can you say anything about?
I don't have anything.
Library, Nicole?
I don't have any updates for this month either.
Buildings and grounds, Kevin?
Apparently the cable come in, we gotta get the cable run between buildings.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, extension.
ASAP, please, because the taxes came today.
Where's Karen?
It's gonna be nice in this couple of days.
Thunderstorms.
It's nice, it's still dark too.
I'll see what I can do tomorrow. Just get it run from sliding or whatever.
We'll look at it after.
All right. Highway, Tom?
We did a walkthrough on the Stockbridge. They had a couple things that were pointed out that they have to do yet. They are all small things. A couple of them are recommendations. One is on top of the big rock they have on the side of the shoulders, they were gonna put some smaller rock in between to help keep that rock where it's at. There's some caulking they had to do, a little bit of tarring they had to do. I'm thinking with this warmer weather, they're gonna have that done. I did drive by, they have the plates on the guardrail and everything was all caulked. And I didn't see those boxes of tar there. I didn't stop on the bridge.
They're in our garage.
Okay,
So Pat had relayed to us that we took it off the bridge. We were afraid that if we plowed snow,
okay.
and might push them
Into the room, okay.
Yes.
It sounded like they had to bring a bigger piece of equipment back in again to do the shoulders because the shoulders were a little bit high. Sounded like they may not do that until spring. At the same time, they're gonna be looking at to make sure the grass is growing where they have the netting and stuff down there. But basically, they are saying that it is pretty much done. There is a list there. The contractor does have that list. So, we have a situation in the township that one of our plowing guys that help out plow isn't able to do it right now. So we're gonna have to find somebody to fill in. I have called 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have called and talked to 9 people that I know of that have a license that could do this. And of those 9, I have one that said he might be interested in helping out until we find somebody. I don't know if this is gonna have to be a full-time. Right now, if we could do it as a part-time to fill in, it would help Pat a lot. Rod did go in the truck this last weekend and help Pat out, and thank you for doing that. We did have a couple mailboxes hit this weekend. I talked to 2 of the people, repaired 2 of the mailboxes. I heard there might be one or two more out there. I personally have not heard anything, so if you know, have the people call, we'll go look at them. Do what we have to
Do you have to,
talk to them, and
do you have to have your CDL? Is that the requirement?
you have to have CDL, and I believe you also have to have the air brake, endorsement to do that truck. Yes.
Hey, just out of curiosity, who hit the mailbox? Which driver?
I'm not even gonna go there.
That's a legitimate question, I mean, it ain't.
You know, it may be. I know Pat hit one on St. Joe's. Yes. So I really don't know, and honestly.
Sometimes the heavy snow knocks them over.
And that's-
We're gonna have to get near them with wings.
And it was heavy snow. And the one we went by and looked at, we definitely did not hit. It was the heavy snow that took it out, because you could actually see where he went around and didn't hit it. The other one, could've, definitely, don't know. It's right on a corner. He could've, I have no idea.
I'm just curious.
I really don't know.
Do we
Are you
have,
gonna post this job?
I think what I'm gonna try, I have a couple more people that I have to talk to, but
I think you have to post it.
To fill a position for part-time? Really? Okay, well then I guess I'll have to post it.
Well, you never know what
I
you're
don't
getting
know.
for people that might apply.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep, I agree.
when do we plow snow? Like, is there like, if there's an inch of snow, is that when Pat's out plowing? Is there like a
Pat
baseline?
makes that call. There is no
Pat makes,
baseline.
okay.
Yeah.
Alright. Somebody asked me and I said,
Basically,
I
if
have
it's
to.
snowing, Pat had always been doing it.
Okay.
I mean, if he goes out like an inch and a half, probably not, he'll do some of the bigger stuff.
Okay.
He'll go back around later, touch out. But
It also depends on which roads, like if they're blacktop, he'll straight those down, leave them straight up.
Yeah.
But the gravel roads, a lot of times you leave those alone so they get a good pack on them. But then if they're talking rain and stuff, you may clean them off. I mean, it's all,
I just didn't know if we had like, cause I know with the price of gas and that's gonna be going up, if we had any.
just to fill you in a little bit on this, I don't know if we could actually do that, because the town of McMillan is really used to having clean roads, they really are.
Oh, right.
And on Friday, I received a couple phone calls from people saying that our roads weren't done yet, and that was, one was just before it started snowing, and one was a couple hours before it started snowing, seriously. So, and that would have been from the snow, that inch and a half that we had,
Okay.
so,
Okay, I was just curious.
yeah. I will look at that, thank you. If we gotta post it, I will definitely post it.
I just think it would give you more options if anybody applies.
Honestly, I figured that 3 of these people would have jumped at it, which one said yes, but his, I think it's his girlfriend, not fiance, said no, she wasn't gonna get up and bring the baby in the morning. So I really thought I had, of the people that I had down on my list, I would have somebody to help fill in anyway until we found somebody.
Now,
But
is
it has just
Jean
been no, no,
leaving?
no.
Is Jean leaving, or is this just temporary?
I don't know that.
Okay.
I don't know that, and I don't know if I can say anything on that. So, all I know is that he's unable to do this right now, and I don't know if he'll be back or not.
Okay.
I don't know. Let's see. Rod mentioned to me, he saw ATV signs on the county roads. I also saw ATV signs. There's a couple areas I did not see them, so I called, give me a second here, I can't remember his name, Chris at the county, and asked him about the areas that I didn't see the signs on the county roads. He told me that because of traffic, let's see, Galvin south of 97 was not open to ATV, and from Marshfield to Elm Tree on E was not open to ATV. And the reason he gave me is because of traffic. Other than that, all of our counties are open to ATVs right now. And he was gonna send a map to Patty, if anybody wanted to see the map. And I did not ask Patty if he sent that or not.
I also think it's posted on the county's website though, too.
Yeah, it is. I mean, there's postings out there. It's kind of like the snowmobile thing. You know, you can go on and you can find where they're open and everything. And that's part of what I have with the ATV signs everywhere.
Yeah.
You know, because if you're gonna go, you're gonna know if you can go or not,
Right.
in my opinion. We did, I don't know if everybody knows that we did get the grant for man. And I want to go on record and saying thank you to Patty and to Nicole for their work that they did with this. Patty, you can give me the numbers on that. I'm thinking it was like 1.4. Is that correct? And change right in that area?
1,118,000 and
Okay.
change. That's
Okay.
like just under 1.2.
Okay. So that is from Lincoln to St. Joe's.
Do we have to put up a percentage?
We do have to put a percentage, yes. So we are gonna have to find that money. One way or another, because we do have to do this road.
Give me just a second to give you a number.
Yeah.
So it's Lincoln to
Lincoln to St. Joe's.
It's like in the middle.
Beginning. Lincoln's the beginning to St. Joe's.
I'm talking between me and 13.
Oh.
It's like in the middle.
So, no, from Elm Tree, from Marshfield, from the corner by, like, Quick Trip there, up to Elm Tree. It's closed.
No. For what were we doing on Man? It's like the middle section of Man Road.
Yes.
Correct. Yes,
Yes, that's what I'm talking about.
yes.
Okay.
If you don't, it doesn't go all the way to 13, that's town
Right,
center.
right, I'm just saying where it is.
It's at the township line on Lincoln, or on Man, from Lincoln to St. Joe's. So we submitted 80/20.
Correct.
And that money is
The
for
total,
what time frame is that money going to come? 22, 23? Or 22?
I won't know that until we get the state, and we're not gonna get that till January. This is just past the, county review.
So what's 20% of 1 million?
So the total grant application, the total project cost is $1,189,417.65. We submitted it at 80/20, so the town portion is $237,883.53.
We have to pay that before we get
It
it.
is a reimbursement grant.
Yeah.
Yep.
And we want to start that next year, right, guys?
Yes. Okay.
Something else, Tom?
Should be good for that.
Moving on to unfinished business. Fire department, Adam?
Calls, we had 8 EMS calls, 1 mutual aid, 1 vehicle fire. No new members to report at this time. Fire department training will be working with hand lines and water movement. All DOTs have been completed on the rigs. The assistance to firefighter grant closes December 17th at midnight, and already, once approved, we'll be applying for the grant to help get the needed air compressor. Line officers elected for 2022 are Lori Bauer for Assistant Chief, Kim Kilty for Captain/EMS Coordinator, and Cody Bauer as Lieutenant. EMS COVID is on the rise again, and the hospital is full to capacity. EMS group is up on number of calls for the year over last year. We had 24 overall last year. We're certain at 38 calls so far this year. Public education, this is a reminder that while you are plowing on your driveways, please make sure that your fire sign is clear. If you're not clear, it makes it harder for us to find and enable us to find as well. That's all I have for my report.
Did you want to say anything about the purchase order for the water softener? Or actually, I should probably take a motion first.
Make a motion to talk about the purchase order for the water softener? Is that what we're doing? Because I don't know what you want to do about the water softener. There are no details on it.
We just need approval for a purchase order to go ahead and purchase it and do it.
We went over this last month, and it was turned out then. I saw the report. Those numbers mean nothing to me.
So the way Ernie explained it to me is the part that's in the red, which is the calcium chloride, I think it is, you said, that cannot be done by a filter. That is done by ionization, which is done in the water softener portion. And right now we have 17 parts, I think, of that in our water at the fire station. So when we wash our rigs and stuff, we get calcium deposits on our rigs. That's why we have spots on them, we can't get them off. And if we do the water softener, it's gonna make it easier for us to wash our rigs and also be easier on our decals and our paints and everything on the rigs.
Did you look into other plumbers like we talked about last meeting?
I'm not sure if Ernie did. I wasn't at the last meeting. All I know is I got a text from him that if this goes through tonight, he will talk to Gaffney. That's all I know.
Is this a want or a need? Because right now we don't have money. So this is where my stance is.
This was budgeted in the fire department's building and grounds budget for 2021. So the money is in our buildings and grounds budget to do this.
Can I ask a question? Or no? Or you want me to wait till comment?
If it pertains to this, yes, George, you can ask a question.
Don't talk in your hands, I can't hear you.
If this pertains to this subject, yes.
It does. My question is, why now? It's been that way since how long has that fire department been there? A long time, right? 30, 40 years, right? And basically, nobody drinks the water, am I correct? You guys buy bottled water,
We also
and you
drink-
just want this to wash your fire trucks with?
We also drink the water, we wash our floors with it, our windows, our toilets, we wash our turnout gear in the water, we wash our laundry at the fire station in this water. It is really hard on the turnout gear to have calcium chloride in the water to wash this turnout gear.
Well, I guess my thought would be suck it up. I mean, Jesus. If you've gotten along all this while with what you had there, all of a sudden you've got to have this, that makes no sense to me. Absolutely. And I forgot, I think what Adam said last time, so you can wash your mirrors, so the mirrors ain't street. Windex is a hell of a lot cheaper than water softener.
If we don't do the water softener, we're gonna be replacing a lot of pairs of turnout gear because this is gonna eat the turnout gear.
Have you looked anywhere else? Have you talked to any other plumber?
Like I said, I don't know that because Ernie is in charge of the buildings.
I really wasn't talking to you, I was talking to Adam.
So, yeah, Ernie looked into it.
You what?
Ernie talked with Stratford Plumbing, the one that did the test. They gave a quote. I didn't have that one with me last month to present it, so.
Did anybody talk to Aaron's Plumbing down there?
I did not get a chance. I'm busy with my day job. I didn't get a chance.
It would be a hell of a good idea because the guy does live in the township and he's a tax-paying resident. And he's a hell of a nice guy. I have nothing to gain by him doing it. But I'm just saying, why run off to Rivals or wherever the hell you're all going? Okay, that's all I got. Go ahead, continue now.
So part of this, Adam did bring in the water sample. The date drawn was 9/11/2019. So this is a couple of years after this, that this has come to us. The recommendation was to go with the water softener. The part of the discussion we had last time was about its leaving spots. And again, you wash it with water softener, you're gonna have spots also. It's not, I mean, it's a new argument, something new about the turnout here this month. It's,
I guess.
I gotta go taste the water and tell you if it needs it or not.
Right. That part I don't know, but if they do have it in their budget and the money is actually there and they did budget for it, I'm not sure why, I guess, we're saying no. That I don't get, because it is budgeted and the money is there.
Well, just because it's in the budget, don't mean you gotta spend it, ain't it?
That is correct, you don't have to. But if they did budget this, they started this budget last,
And then it survived just fine.
well, and again, if it's there towards the end of the year, that's when you buy your stuff. Because if you still have the money, and we do the same thing, I'm doing the same thing with Pat. If we got a little extra money and there's something we need, or something we have to go get, yes, we can, instead of saying, nope, we have to wait a little bit, because I'm not sure if we're gonna cover this bill or not. I did that all year long.
I think the issue is no one has come to the treasurer or the clerk
I was just
to
gonna
make these end of year expenditures. We're just, I don't know what you're going off of because every time I hand out a piece of paper, it's wrong.
Yeah.
So the quote was 1,800. Do you have, that was in the minutes, that's what we talked about. Do we actually have a quote? I mean, this is,
That was in,
I know it's in December and it's either gonna happen this year or it's not.
From Gaffney's or from? I don't have the quote with me today, I gave it to you guys last time.
It was like 1,800 or whatever, I think.
yeah, it was included in last month's packet. It's $1,850.
So I guess the question is there money left? Where's Steve? In the back?
How much money is left in your buildings and grounds?
I don't have that number, I don't know.
I think the point wasn't necessarily money that's left over in individual line items. It was left over as an entirety for the township. And it's not, I've said this before, just because we budget money for the area doesn't mean it belongs to the area. It's still township to begin with. If somebody can tell me we've got enough money to pay the bills at the end,
I can't say that. I'm still buying anything else.
buy it. Clippers, if you get clippers.
You're right.
Patty, do you know if we have enough money to pay all the bills at the end of the year? Is that a question for Steve?
Neither one of us can answer that question, number one, because we don't have the end of the year bills.
Right. Yeah.
And he will explain what he's done when he gets to his treasurer's report. I'm not gonna step on that.
Yeah.
How much longer does the close last? I guess after, I'm sorry, I used the word, I don't remember the proper term for it, if we have a water softener versus not.
It depends upon the wear and tear.
I don't think that the hardness in the water will attack the rubber or the suit. It's calcium. It's just a mineral. That's all it is. And yes, it will leave spots when the water dries, but I struggle to see how we spend $1,800 on a water softener for washing a vehicle. I have boilers that I operate every day, and we're taking hardness out of the water. You know, it's just a mineral, is all it is. It's not gonna attack anything.
Having an up-to-date water analysis is probably not gonna change
It's
it.
probably not gonna change,
But
but you're
it's,
only talking.
for me, you're
15
talking
or
2019, and then at the end of 2021, now 2 years later is when we're bringing this up, and all of a sudden it's a big deal.
I think you're gonna see that that's pretty common in this area, at that level. It would be different if we were using it for something where we were boiling the water, we're gonna have those deposits on that equipment. That would be a bigger concern. Because that's gonna precipitate out. If you wash the vehicle and get it dry fairly quickly where the sun can't beat on it, then you won't get those water spots. So if you can use a blow dryer to blow the water off, or get the vehicle inside the shed and dry it that way, then you won't have the problem with the water spots. You know, yeah, you might have some calcium colored, you know, rings from the water spot that's on the turnout gear, but I don't think that's gonna negatively affect it. There are some additives you can put in water for washing vehicles that will help to prevent that. I have several bottles of it at home. I used to go to car shows all the time. So there are some products out there that you could get that might be a whole lot less expensive. That will help to moderate the pH of the water and make it where it won't create those water spots. So that would be another alternative to look at. I'm sure you could talk to Troy Pia, Classics, he's probably got a number of sources for stuff like that too. I'm just thinking that, given the tightness of the budget right now, that I think we need to table it.
It can happen right away in January, as far as I'm concerned.
On average, how often do you wash your vehicles? Just on average?
After every call, anytime, like I do fire inspections, I take the vehicle out, I come back and I wash it, they get washed after every call. If we go to parades and stuff, they wash them before.
Yeah, I would think the sodium chloride from the road salt would be the bigger concern, is just getting that out.
Yeah,
Do we
they-
still allow personal vehicles to come in and get washed?
No.
Again, I don't have an issue if it's outside as a perk. But during the winter, when the door's opening, to bring personal vehicles in to thaw them out and wash them.
We were told not to, so I haven't been having them to do it.
It is part of their perks or whatever, if you will, or
Yeah, but this has been an ongoing discussion. Again, if we open the door when it's that cold out, to let vehicles in the thaw them out and wash them, and everything we wash inside goes into the holding tanks, and we pump the holding tanks more often because we're washing personal vehicles.
it's not, those grates don't go to the holding tanks.
There you go.
They go out to the east of the building.
I just think it can wait till January. Wait till you got the new budget. That's, just as soon as we get through the end of the year and not having to spend anything else.
I can ping Aaron, he's my neighbor, and I could help him put the signs up on the snowmobile trails next weekend, so I can have him get in touch with you if he can offer something like that. I know he told me Saturday he's extremely busy right now. He's got a bunch of homes he's trying to get roughed in for winter, so, I mean, he could probably talk to you and see what, you know, I think we'd probably be prudent to get a new water testing in. And then you could get another number, you know, get a couple of quotes and see where that lies. My concern would be that, you know, the way things are right now on deliveries of stuff, that we even get one. I can't imagine it's a very big unit, I don't know how many gallons is in it, like that. 20?
I don't recall from the paperwork what it was.
So motion to table to next month. Information.
Can we table it till the fire department brings it back to us? That's
Yes.
that's the main reason that it's on there again this month is because we tabled it until this month, until they could get, deal to us, so.
Yeah, we got the water analysis, and it's 2 years old, and again, that's probably not gonna change getting a new one. I don't want to say that we have to have a new one. I think they are free to get. We just take the samples on rivals and we run them. I just said, we got a couple weeks left in the year, and I just assume wait till January if it's a needed item. So motion to table till the fire department brings it back.
So just for clarification, what exactly do you want us to bring back to you? So when Ernie talks to either one of us, we can give him clear directions, what you guys are asking for.
I'll second that first,
Thank you.
and then I'll comment. So, I think basically what they're looking at is, maybe another contractor to give a price. And I can help with this, I work with these guys all the time. I know all of them in town. I don't know the one you're talking about, but
Stop in by me.
If he does.
Lives right down there.
yep,
It's the
if he
whole-
does, I mean, we can make contact, I will volunteer to do some of this work, okay? So I will get, a couple quotes, I'll bring them to you. Just so that we can get another quote other than Gaffney for what we need to do for a water softener.
Aaron used to be a Gaffney, or is married to a Gaffney, I should say.
Okay. So,
I think on the report,
and I don't know if we can get,
Yeah.
or even if we need, but
it has the recommended water softening size on there.
yeah.
I'm
So,
gonna throw this out there, it just makes sense that, contact a bunch of different people, plumbers and
I will
whatnot,
do
instead of
that.
just, nobody's married to Gaffney for Christ's sake.
it does.
Yeah.
Yeah. I will do that. I'll take and do the.
Tell George sent you.
I will do that too.
He may shoot you, but
His number.
I have it, I texted him.
You texted him already? There, you have it.
Thank you. Okay. So basically, if we need another quote, we'll get those, I'll get those to you. You can bring those with. I'll ask, I don't know, I can get a water test done too. I think, they do mold down by Napa down there too. I know the building, I just don't know what it's called. But, so those, I think Rigel does it, but I don't know if they actually bring it in to get it done.
No, because they threw it in a Ziploc bag up and all.
Okay. So, but that's what we're looking for. And honestly, it's more of the budget thing, I think, right now than anything, seriously.
Yeah.
I'm concerned about it myself, so. Okay. So, I will get that for you. Okay.
Any further discussion? Since there's none, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those against, say nay. Ayes have it. Table until the fire department brings it back. Department officers, Adam. I think you read those off. Yes, we're just approving.
So I make a motion to
Well-
approve.
The agenda does not call out what we're doing for these department officers. Other, like line item 11 called out approve or disapprove, and 10 called out adoption, so department officers, it just says department officers. And the only reason I bring this up is because we've gotten nailed on this numerous times, and that's why I'm asking.
So what is it for?
Basically, earlier this fall, last month and so, working through, they have an election, they elect their officers at the fire department, and we're basically just approving them.
What's in your bylaws in the fire department as far as the procedure for this.
As far as the bylaws, if I remember correctly, the fire department votes on the officers. And if I remember correctly, the only one that needs to be approved by the board is the chief.
On page 7 of your bylaws, it calls out line officers. I'm not sure who those are, but that's what your bylaws said. I got a copy of it, which is on my cell phone, which is not here.
Who did you get a copy of bylaws from?
From me.
It is true, the board approves all the line officers. I mean, it is what it is, so.
So line officer, your your assistant chief, your captains, lieutenants. Those are your line officers.
And do you report up then through Rod?
No, so basically, as a department, we pick our officers, we present it to you, say this is who we picked for the next year, we go for re-election, or election. And then yes, you approve them, or no, there's an issue with it. And they have to go back as a group and select different ones.
Rod, do you vote on anything specific for the fire department? And here's where I'm going with this. I just feel there's a conflict of interest between you guys being married. And I want to make sure, because that's looking at our ethics.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's why I wanted to call that out.
I'm actually not here right now.
So,
Who's that guy over there?
You can't ask me anything, I'm not here. Seriously.
okay, so who can tell me can Rod vote on
I would guess not.
any, well, I want to make sure because I want to make sure we're following our ethics and that's why I'm asking.
I do want to do that.
Voting as far as what? Like approving the officers?
Any
Or-
voting for
Any
the
voting.
fire department because there is a conflict of interest between them being married. That's why.
Well, I think another conflict would be Rod being on the fire department, definitely being the chair of the township.
So in the past, when other board members were also on the department, anytime anything came up for the department, they abstained from the vote.
And I just want to make sure that's called out, that's all. That's where I'm going with this,
So
and I
I-
want it documented.
That's the way it was when Dave Swenson was on the board. Anytime something came up with the fire department, he would abstain from the vote.
Okay, that's
If I
my
recall. I didn't,
concern.
that many votes.
I think it was 90% of the time, but I think 10% they voted.
Yeah.
Okay.
So who fills in when Rod's not here? If somebody has questions like George.
Right here.
Do you have a question, George?
No, he just being a wise ass.
Tom, I point you to take my place while I'm down here. Thank you.
I didn't even know you were down there, I thought you left.
So anyway, we still haven't decided if we're even gonna do anything with this. Because you don't like how it's worded correctly.
Every other thing has always been approved, disapproved, on every past agenda we've had, so I don't know why this is not there.
You gotta go by the letter of the law. That's the way this stuff is supposed to be.
I
This
mean,
isn't, you know,
we've
this-
gotten nailed on this numerous times, especially when we had the whole, trying to shift the, town commission around. So that's why I'm asking.
But doesn't your statement on the top of the agenda cover that? All items on the agenda are for discussion and possible action. Doesn't that cover an action being done? As far as approving or disapproving something? Isn't that why that disclaimer is up there?
I don't know why that disclaimer is up there. And
It's
I feel like
because-
somebody was talking to our town attorney, which we will get charged for again. Was the agenda given to our town attorney?
Yes.
Wow.
Go ahead,
They're
Carol.
not up there now.
Okay, I have, the reason that's on there, Nicole, is because he said, why do you have all that garbage on there for all this stuff? Approve, disapprove, everything. You do not have to do that. This was the attorney that said, this is what needs to be at the top of your agenda. That means all items that are on the agenda can be discussed and voted on. He is the attorney that put this there.
Why are we not going to Wisconsin Towns, which we paid for, and now we have to pay another bill for our attorney? We have no money to spend.
No, this was 2 years, 3 years ago.
Also, keep in mind, Nicole, your agenda is supposed to be as specific as possible.
Now, this comes from the woman that was the chairman in 2018 that spent $30,000 on an attorney, on the attorney to sit here during meetings. So just keep that one in mind.
Yes, and that was because of
You what?
because of people in this audience were responsible for that bill. So, that's not here. This is not what we're here for.
Guys.
She asked a question.
No, but you shoot off your mouth, I can shoot off mine, can't I?
Not each other.
Hey, George, Carolyn, if you're gonna speak to us, please. Not to each
I can
other.
shoot, if she can shoot off her mouth, I can shoot off mine. There, I did, I talked to her.
Please, thank you, appreciate it.
But that's fact, that is not, no
And
bullshit.
that's-
She spent 30 grand for an attorney for the year.
Okay, that could be true, I don't know.
What do you mean,
trust
could be? I
you're
got it right
saying.
here.
George, I'm saying I'm trusting what you're
She's
saying,
out of
okay?
order.
But let's
Call
just.
Who the hell
let's-
are you to say?
Hey,
Okay,
hey, hey,
guys,
hey,
stop,
hey,
stop,
hey,
stop,
hey, hey.
please.
We got no chairman, so who the hell is she to say?
George, please, please. So,
It's Nicole.
this being on the top of this page here is telling me then that we are okay to go ahead and talk about the department officers. Are you comfortable with this?
I'm fine talking about it, but, you know, every past agenda has always said that too, and we've done the same path where we did not have call out things that say approval. So I have the past agenda if you want, but I'm just saying that we can't be inconsistently consistent in this process. And I've already spoken my piece about the ethics on it, so that was my biggest concern.
Anything? You? Bob? Anything? So you have no comment at all?
Well, I would have to say that having that at the top allows us to take action on the item on the list, which is whether we want to approve the department officers as presented. We can debate all night long about
Right.
whether it needs to say approve or disapprove.
Exactly.
That is what we did state when we went through that process when it was put on there.
So you are,
Keep in mind, the point was made that Lee put all that information on the agenda. Lee also reviewed the agenda before it was posted and before it was sent to you. This agenda that you're looking at. I don't know what he said. All I know is chair came back and said, yep, it's good to go, add this.
So do we have Lee looking at the agendas every month?
Just this one.
For what reason?
Bottom line is there's no secret to some people in the room, there's an investigation going on this township. It is basically a shotgun effect of what it is. It's all kinds of items. I don't even know all of the items. And it's still going on. And they did contact our lawyer on questions on some stuff. And his recommendation was for right now that he wanted to be kept informed of what's going on. And one of the things that he wanted was to see the agendas. Because if he felt that there was something that was questionable in the agendas, in the way it was, that he wanted to be here.
I don't have a problem with any officers or anybody put up. It's at the point in time when, Rod, you decided to run for this, you were, under my impression as a board member, is that you were no longer a member of the fire department. And now you are still an active member of the fire department that speaks on behalf of the fire department, or the fire department representatives that are here. And being married to Lori, as the assistant chief, raises a bigger level of conflict of interest. Whether there is or isn't, it's up to you guys. I said, everybody that volunteers, kudos, I have respect for it. Does it raise any flags with, probably be a lot more if Lori was the chief and chair, I would assume that anything goes through admin, and I don't know how your bylaws are written with your disciplinary actions with anything internally or not. I don't know if there's any major problems that happen over there that need to come this way, then how anything would have to be addressed.
There's been no issues that I know of with the way it was changed. That can correct me if I'm wrong, but if there's a complaint against the fire department, it's supposed to go to the chairs and not
It goes to the board.
the board.
And if that's the case, then we could, the four of us
The
could
four of
vote
you.
without Rod.
Correct. That's why he's sitting down there, not up there right now.
So from what I'm hearing, I'm thinking we should go ahead and look at department officers.
So you want to look at the officers as far as what you submitted on this?
Yeah.
Okay, I make a motion to approve the officers for the 2020 fire department. Lori, assistant chief; Tim Kilty, captain EMS coordinator; and Cody Bauer, lieutenant.
2022.
You said 2020?
Really?
Yeah.
It was a great year.
Somebody else wants to say?
2022.
Do you have a question from the audience, Tom?
Just to make one thing clear, those are 2-year terms, so. That's not all your officers, it's a 2-year term thing. You get the other officers next year.
But they started in 2022?
Yes.
I'll second that motion.
Hold on. So, they started already and we're approving it?
No. I had assistant chief when he
Okay.
became chief, and I'm finishing out his term, Adam's term right now,
Okay,
and I'll be starting my own term in 2022.
okay.
And
Thank you
I
for
don't believe we
clarifying.
actually voted on the past, but it's slid through, so.
No, thank you. I just want, like I said, I just want it documented that we have it cleared for the conflict of interest. Rod does not vote on any of those items specific to the fire department.
Any other comment? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against, nay. Ayes have it.
So can you come back?
Let's have one more.
You have the air compressor grant.
Yeah, but you can talk about it, can't you, up here?
Just gonna vote on it.
You just can't vote on it.
Okay.
I was told by Lee that it was not a conflict of stuff for the department. It was when it came to family members and stuff like that. That was his concern about it. If you wish me not to vote on this one, I cannot vote on this one also, if that's your wish.
I think anything that has to do with the fire department, being you're on the fire department and the chair, I think you should abstain from anything in the future with the fire department. Just to save your own face for future scrutiny. Okay, so information on,
Yeah, number 3 is we're asking for permission for Laura to fill out the grant. Try to get money for the air compressor.
make the motion to approve Lori to rate or go after the grant for the air compressor.
Is this, how much is the grant for? I'm just curious.
It'll be for, $30,000 for the compressor. And just so you all know, approving it tonight gives me less than 3.5 days to write this grant. Because it closes December 17th at midnight.
I thought this was under January.
December 17th at midnight, this grant closes.
What are you still doing?
I have asked Patty for information to start the grant, and I have not received any of it yet. So I really can't start the grant until I get information from Patty.
So you didn't check your email last week either?
I checked all my emails last week.
Okay.
I check all 3, 4, 5 of my email accounts every single day.
Okay.
I also would like to just say that Patty has had a full schedule here coming up, so that's the reason of some of the delays. It's not all just Patty, just not.
So in part of this grant, I believe it was brought up at the meeting that we had in the fire department with the residents. In our budgetary stuff, do we have to show that we have a line item for that, or when we get to doing adopting our budget as a board, do we have to take that out of there, showing that?
I think we have to show it, and if they get it, then it goes.
I think once you get the grant,
Once you
you
get the grant,
reallocate the funds.
you reallocate the funds then. That was a major conversation, but if I remember it correctly.
Reallocate them after, or does it have to show in the budget that we are budgeted money
I
for it,
think
we're
the
going after
budget
the
is
grant?
and then if we get the grant, we'll just reallocate it someplace else, we can put it someplace else.
The one thing she may be able to do also in that grant, because it's a very in-depth grant, she may also be able to say that we have needs other places for that money. I don't know if that would be enough to cut it, but, I mean, the bottom line is our roads, I mean, we're gonna need every dime we can scrape up. So, I mean, but it is a,
Is the compressor different than the cascade system, or is they the same thing, or just calling it different?
It's the same thing, but the compressor is the part that fills the cascade system, that fills the bottles.
And last month we gave the purchase order for the breathing air tanks, which are part of the
Correct.
compressor, right?
Correct.
Okay.
And Fall Fest kicked in $20,000 for the compressor system.
Okay.
So I'm still going for the 30,000 because we still have 3 bottles on the rescue that need to be replaced also. So,
Now,
that's where those go.
That's where
When you
those
use
go?
per- that's
Oh,
where
okay.
Ford-
I got something confused on this. An air compressor pumps air and fills the tanks. So now you're talking about tanks that you're gonna strap on your back. It's not the
No,
same
no, no,
thing.
no, 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 they're not, they don't go on your back, they're large cylinders, like your oxygen cylinder, for your oxygen assembly torches, they're that size. And they have a,
It's a reservoir,
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
it's the bulk reservoir that fills the back tank.
Seems to be just wordages are getting,
Terminology.
Well, and every time we get together once a month, I'm like, okay, this is this, and then, so, thank you for letting me ask those questions, because I don't remember.
It's fine.
So there was no second to that motion.
I thought I did.
yeah.
I think that is,
Okay.
Yeah.
and I
Before
jumped
discussion
in.
started, yep.
Sorry, Patty.
It's all good.
Now we have the discussion all over again. Call the vote.
Reverse it.
all those in favor say aye,
Aye.
those against say nay. I abstain. You're still here, Tom. Treasurer's report?
The accounts reconciled and the report has been modified a little bit. Normally at this time of the year, the tax savings account balance at the end of November would be $6.96, the amount of interest that would have been transferred on the first working day of December. I did not transfer the ARPA reserve of $110,060 some odd dollars. That cash is different than the cash that's residing in the checking account right now. And since the bridge is close to completion and being built totally, I did away with that line.
questions for Steve?
Make a motion to approve the treasurer financial report.
Second?
Any further discussion?
I do have a comment I'd like to throw in there as well. If we got cash that is reserved, as in that ARPA fund, should it not be segregated physically in its own separate account? As well as possibly major construction projects, if you guys decide in January that whatever the cash balance is in the checking will all go towards whatever street, Man Road, I believe. Wouldn't it be a good idea to have a physical account for that?
We used to, but we took it all out, remember, at the beginning of this year for the bridge?
For the bridge, but the bridge
tax
is
savings account.
almost done.
Yeah, and that's why we took it out, was because we figured we'd be spending it this year.
Yeah.
So, otherwise, that's what we did. Money was put into CDs as a rule. But I think the savings account at this point has more interest than the CDs do.
I have no idea actually, but,
2 cents.
just to keep things a little bit clearer for the board perhaps.
I think it would be good.
Cash that is reserved should maybe be segregated physically.
Because we don't know what we can spend on yet officially.
Right, there's no clear definition. Clear to us.
We have ideas, but nothing's been finalized from the guide, from the people above us.
Patty, do we have any idea when that decision is to be made as to whether we spend that or send it back or whatever it may be, that ARPA money?
I think we got till 2024, don't we?
Yeah,
We
there-
have years.
Yeah, we got a couple of years to play with that. Wait till they get done allocating it and deciding where you can actually put it, because I think in Texas right now, the Senate is going after putting it on roads. So
Yeah, right now you can't use it for roads.
not right now,
Which
but
is crazy.
if they win that and the Senate goes after the federal,
Yeah.
That's what we're hoping.
yes, then it'll all kind of fall into place, so.
And maybe that should be a agenda item for next month is the declaration or whatever it's called, to be
So-
physically separated.
What would we need to do to set up a savings account for that ARPA money?
Go to the bank and open one with board approval.
Why can't we do that today?
Was it specifically on the agenda for you?
There is a treasurer financial report.
Okay. It's just a question, I'm not.
No, we can put it on, the next meeting coming up.
Yeah,
Just a question.
yeah, that's why I asked the question.
You can make a motion.
Love to put it on the agenda for
Sorry
next
to
month.
answer your question with a question, but here we are.
We're getting more clarity.
Yeah?
Could you not make a motion to put it on the agenda for next month?
We can do the end of the year.
Huh?
We can do it the end of the year meeting.
When they do their allocation.
Okay.
Well, we can do motion, right, we just put it on.
Yeah. Patty's noted it, right?
No.
Note it, please.
No, the grant for Man Road, that doesn't get paid until we do it. That's how that works.
Isn't it before we start?
Yeah,
There's different rules at which we pay money on that.
no, like the funds for the grant, they wouldn't receive those.
I think that we have to do our 20% first before they give us anything.
I think you have to pay the whole thing
It's
first.
a reimbursement grant, it's gotta be paid and then submitted, and you will get your match.
Yes.
You'll get the state portion, I'm sorry, not the match. You won't get the 20%, you'll get the 80% from the state,
Back, oh, okay, got it.
after you spend the money.
Yeah.
I'm sorry?
Possibly.
Ouch.
Yes.
Okay.
I have a motion on the table.
Yes, we do.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against say nay. Ayes have it.
Also, if anybody here would like to get their property taxes, I got the forms here today. I bet you guys, if you're in the office, so you didn't get them. Really, you wanna know?
No.
Thanks, Steve.
You got the dog portion of it? I'll talk to you anyways about that.
Oh yeah, I gotta get a dog slip too.
If I need one.
There you go.
When you're ready, Patty.
Yeah.
Patty, your turn.
Hang on. Marathon County Conservation Planning and Zoning set notices, so there's a revision to Animal Waste Management Ordinance. They filed a decision for Merkel and Edwards CUPs, which has already been in front of the board. They also approved the livestock facility site application zoning permits for properties on Dragonfly and 2 on Stott. Marshfield Insurance has a renewal for the town commercial package. We're still waiting on the fire department package. In the past, it's been the agent, the clerk, and the chair that sit down and review the renewal package sometime in December. So I need some direction from the board on whether or not you want the agent to come to a board meeting and present it to the entire board, or if we're gonna continue to use past practice and have a meeting with the clerk and the chair and the agent. Wisconsin Towns Association's got their town advocacy council dues. This TAC is the legislative group, their lobbying group. It's different than the town association membership dues. So if you decide to go into this group, it's $516.75 for the dues. We haven't participated in this in several years. If you want to get into it, then I can put it on the end of year checklist.
What do you gain from it?
You're funding the lobbying side of the town association.
Okay.
The clerk's office received an open records request on December 2nd, which was forwarded to the fire chief on December 6th. And the request is related to the records about the foam product that was talked about during the budget workshops. Have you received that?
We got it. The board was looking into the information on the phone for me.
So you're still looking?
Researching the phone information for that. Being as my first open records request, is there like a time frame I have to do with that?
Yes, I need, if you're gonna take more time to gather the information, I at least need to respond back to them and let them know that that's what we're doing.
Okay.
And right now, we're a week out, and that's not gonna be a good conversation, but I'll take care of it.
Alright. After the meeting tonight, I'll follow up with Lori and see if she found any information.
Okay.
Or was I Friday off, I was gonna try to dig into that if she didn't find anything.
You know, that's it on your report. You guys want the agent to come to the next meeting?
You guys don't have any issue doing that, after you've done your practice in the past?
Everything's been updated. The only thing he's gonna tell us is that the premium went up 4%.
Do a motion on this.
Motion on
Potential conflict again, but I don't have an issue with this.
potential conflict with what? The fire department?
Yeah,
We don't have the fire department. We're just looking at the town.
okay. Yeah, no, you guys want to do, all right. Motion to have, has been done in the past.
How can we make a motion when this isn't on the agenda?
It's part of hers.
But it was part of Steve's when he was talking too. I'm so confused about this. Okay, got it.
it doesn't need to be, there doesn't need to be a motion, this is how we've done it in the past, this is a new board, so I thought it needed to be brought to you.
You send my motion,
Okay.
and I just recommend you guys do
So I'm ready to put your motion in, just because. So on your checklist, there is one check that's printed in the checks, but the number did not print on your list. It does have a check number. It is 18671, it's to Advanced Disposal, it's about halfway down the list. The O'Reilly statements were pulled from the claims last month because there were no invoices. I mentioned this to the treasurer, Carly, fire department treasurer, not Steve treasurer. Again, that statement came in with no invoices. I also pulled the Mid-State Tech College because the breakdown doesn't match the total. And I need to know in your motion how the board wants the account allocation done for Quest. Because their detail of cost says it's for the Brickyard subdivision review. And in the letter, comments and recommendations were made on the subdivision plan and stormwater management plans. I have it right now because I thought they were reviewing the road under highway, but if that's not the case, then you need to tell me where I need to take that out of. And on a side note, that has been emailed to Quest 3 different times. Apparently they still don't have it. I'm gonna send it with the check.
Well, where else would it go other than highway? I'm trying to think.
Well, it would go planning and then it would like, exceed your budget line item. But it is category, so you're not gonna exceed the category, you're just gonna exceed the line item.
You want to write a check for this anyway too? Just get this taken care of. Continue.
Checks are 18659 to 18692 with EFTs 2021-53 through 58 and the amount of $79,212.99.
What's Wisconsin Media?
The paper, Marshall News Herald,
Oh, that's what it's called now? Oh.
has been for years.
Addie, what is Bill Service Center, what was that for, any idea?
Repairs at ATV.
One of our ATVs was leaking.
Huh?
One of our ATVs was leaking out of the carburetor, so we asked them to look it over and
Do you use it?
use it during Fall Fest, and we use it for trainings.
Love it.
$2.
Because they submitted statements and not invoices, the invoice on this statement was paid last month, but it crossed, so this is a service charge for $2.
What is KBIS?
That's the company that the county contracts with to do the bridge inspections.
So what's $1,160 for the postmaster? $1,160 for the postmaster?
That is for the postage to mail out the taxes and the receipts.
What about Marshall Call System?
That is the $263. Well, first off, there was no purchase order for that. Second off, that is a vial injector kit.
For the fire department?
Yes.
I don't know.
I don't know what the
Glucagon?
that's what it was.
Christchurch, now, what was that one for?
That's the tractor. There was a leak under the cab. They had to take the cab partially off. Had to go over to in the brake hose.
I know, yes, TG's.
Tires for a truck. 2010 plow truck, highway.
What's Bowen Field Business Technologies?
A copier in the clerk's office.
Oh, did you break it?
We pay that every quarter.
I'm just kidding.
So she don't break it.
I know, I was just
We
being.
have a maintenance agreement for just such things.
I couldn't resist.
So don't keep up with all your questions either.
I know, but you answer them pretty fast.
Well, I know what the numbers are. Several bills were. So while we're asking, what do we do with Quest?
Yeah. So, I'm guessing we're gonna have to pay for this first, and then, does Jeff reimburse us for this then? That's my understanding of it. Jeff pays for all of the engineering costs on this.
Does he know this?
Yes, he does own this,
Okay.
yes. So I don't know, honestly, if we actually, I don't know how it works. Should we actually give Jeff that bill and he pays that? Or do we have to pay that and then we get reimbursed from Jeff? That part I don't know.
Well, we
The
request-
simple answer is, it's already in, the town of McMillan agreed to the agreement, not Jeff Hill. It's our responsibility as a township to pay the bill. It's in our, it's
Yeah.
to us.
Okay,
So if you want him invoiced, then he needs to be invoiced beyond that.
and that's
The
fine.
question is,
Where do we take it from?
is it a road? Because what they're saying in their report is that they sent documents and they sent their comments. I don't know where that was sent to. But it's subdivision plan and stormwater management. My first question is, the stormwater management plan is already recorded at the county. Why is the engineer looking at it? Second of all, if it's subdivision plans, it's not specific to the road, so I can't keep it in highway.
So should we have him update his invoice to reflect it correctly, so that we can? that
No,
way
I just need to
we're-
know what he was reviewing.
He reviews the whole plot.
Then that's not road.
He's there for that whole subdivision.
Okay,
He is not there just for roads.
okay.
So he's there for the road, the water, and he's also there for the runoff on any water coming out of there.
What part of that is the town's responsibility other than the road?
As far as when Jeff
Any
turns
of
it
this-
over?
All Jeff is gonna turn over is the road.
Correct. That's
Okay, the
correct.
subdivision, the DNR already gave you the permits,
Mhm.
okay, and the county already approved it. What more than the road would the town be responsible for? That you would have an engineer looking at it,
Take responsibility for.
yeah.
I specifically had questions on the runoff on the water, because they're still telling us that, and I had them look at the one on the east side of the property that come between the two houses.
Mhm.
They're still told us in our last meeting that that was taking the 100-year rain and it's less coming off there than what is now. That is not true. There is actually more water coming off in a 100-year rain off that pond than there is right now.
Then you should be
So-
calling the DNR, shouldn't you? They would be the ones that would be taking care of that, not us.
The
As a
DNR
township.
doesn't care about anything past 3 years.
I think it's our
That's what-
responsibility.
That's what Breland told us.
Well, you might wanna call the DNR anyway, because I wouldn't trust anything that came out of Breland's mouth.
I think it's our responsibility that we make sure that this is all correct. We're not engineers up here, we did the best we could, but
I'm just saying
I still
how
had
much is-
questions.
How much is our responsibility? Like I said, if that pond is not correct, then I do believe the DNR is the one that should be called to make it correct. Because they were the ones that issued the permits for that, am I correct?
But they're still, I think it's a he said, she said thing. I'm not an
Then you
engineer,
need
so
to
I,
get Dustin involved, the one that engineered it, and have
Mhm.
him take it up with the DNR. I don't think the town should be paying for this.
Who's supposed to inspect the project as it goes along?
That's Jeff's in the county as buildings go up. That's not ours. All we got is the road.
No, but I mean,
We'll
the
have the
whole,
road.
the whole process, I mean, all the ground that's being moved, who comes in?
They come in with a building, for a building permit at the county level. The county takes care of that.
So somebody at the county or Army Corps of Engineers should be stopping out and looking at the site to make sure the site fits the plan.
And then the building permits and all of that is regulated by the
By the
county.
county, yeah.
The only thing that
Mhm.
we actually accept responsibility for is the road.
Yeah, that's it.
Right, that's all.
yeah.
Make sure
Got
that
it.
the road is put in right. Other than that, the rest of it isn't.
Right. Cause he's gonna own the pond.
Pardon?
He's retaining ownership of the pond, so whoever buys the lot with
Yeah.
the pond, they.
I mean, if it isn't right, it's their responsibility, and then DNR or county is gonna get on and report it to them. But hiring an engineer for us to take care of it, that's not ours.
That's assuming responsibility.
Yeah, that's assuming responsibility is right.
I was under the impression that the engineer was just supposed to watch the road being built and that's.
He is, the road, the ditches, the runoff, yes, that's part of the ditches, that is part of that road,
Cause the road is to the right of way,
yes.
so you get the width of the road is what, 33 feet?
Yeah.
So, Patty, if we invoice Jeff, do you just need a verbal, can you send an invoice to Jeff to pay this?
She said that it was sent to us and it's our responsibility.
Yeah,
At
but we
this
pay it,
point.
but then Jeff should be paying us back,
Correct.
right? So she could do the invoicing on our behalf, so that, you know, we paid it, but now Jeff owes us.
So it was my understanding that we do pay the engineer and then Jeff reimburses us for those costs. That's my understanding looking into this.
For the road.
Correct. Yeah.
Does Jeff know
Got
that?
it. Jeff does.
Yeah,
know that.
he
We
does.
talked about that.
We talked
It was
about it
surprising,
multiple
you're
times.
just,
Yeah.
He knows it.
Did you guys ever get the contract figured out with him?
Pardon me?
Did you ever get the contract figured out with him?
As far as what part of it?
The part of the contract that says that the town is gonna take over the road when he gets it done and it meets specifications.
I don't have anything from that.
Okay, that was in our ordinance,
Mm-hmm.
that you're supposed to have a contract with him.
Contract, we're also supposed to have $100,000 bond on that too.
Well, the board has, as a whole, has not decided on the bond yet.
I think we did.
No, you didn't.
You talk
I think we did.
No, you and Bob talked about it at a meeting when it wasn't on the agenda.
Actually, Nicole brought it up. She found 100,000 in there, and I believe that's what we decided, because Jeff said that that road was gonna cost like 87,000 or something like this, and that 100,000 bond would cover that road.
Listen to the recording. That,
And that's fine, I'll listen to it. If it's not, then it's not, then we'll have to bring it up and vote on it, but
yeah,
that's the way I remember it.
no, because I sat and told you, it's not on the agenda.
let's write it down.
I don't know if that matters anymore, looking at the numbers.
It doesn't even have to be listed now, right?
You don't know.
That's on the
I'm so
winner's
confused.
agenda.
Back on track with this.
I agree.
Okay, do we need to make a motion?
Yes, please.
Can I make a motion to approve the clerk's report?
Don't we still figure out where it's coming out of? Or did I miss that?
I'm not planning,
Okay.
but can you make a motion to approve the checks 18659 and 18692, 2353 and 2028?
I make a motion to approve the
For
checks
$79,212.99.
for $79,212.99 for numbers 18667 to,
18659, 18692.
yes, those numbers.
2150.
discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against, say nay. Carries approved. Ready to move on to new business, Patty?
I'm ready. Yes, please.
Burger CSM?
Motion to approve, as recommended by the plan commission.
I second that motion.
I have a motion and a second to approve the deal discussion.
Yes, please. Before, even if the board is going to sign or approve the CSM, before you sign it, the certification on the back of the second page needs to be corrected. Because Vreeland sent it to me after I requested it. Mr. Berger sent it to me originally from what was presented to JPC. Vreeland drew this up for him and the certification is not correct. It lists that the chairman for the town of McMillan is also the City of Marshville Joint Plan Commission. Hereby certify the land created by the certified survey map has been adopted by the Joint Plan Commission on a certain day. I know JPC did that because they sent you guys the minutes and plan at those minutes, but this certification needs to say that it's the town of McMillan because you're not the City of Marshville JPC. We've got 3 members appointed to that.
So that basically,
You could approve it, and I can contact Vreeland tomorrow to see if he'll change his certification.
But what if he doesn't?
Unless you have an issue.
What if he doesn't change his certification?
I don't know why he wouldn't change his certification. This is the first one I've ever seen that says the town of McMillan Share is also the
Okay,
JPC.
just asking, because
JPC reviewed just with those four conditions that Dorothy and Plan Commission also reviewed. 2 of those conditions happen for every CSM, which is bring to the PC and bring to the board. Every CSM has to do that. The other was about the driveway.
So if we approve it, we should be wording in there the 3rd condition.
Do you have those minutes or the email I printed off? I didn't.
Yeah, I didn't print it up right away. Are you looking for the wording of it, Patty, or?
you just look.
Dorothy, do you have the wording of that? The
Do I
3rd?
have the wording of it?
Yes, the 3rd
You don't-
condition.
You don't have that email that
No.
I forwarded,
I
right?
never got that email.
You want the motion from the JPC is what you're asking for,
The 4,
4 conditions?
yes, please.
Either a shared access agreement be recorded or a separate driveway must be added if lot 3 is sold or building permit is taken out. That's number 1. You want the second one?
I'm ready. No, wait, I'm done.
I guess my question is, are we supposed to include, because in Kevin's motion, the way that I read it, we left off the recommendations of the plan commission and the,
Well, it was a recommendation from the plan commission. Hers was the question on the map, the wordage on the map.
correct. I'm looking at the conditions or the,
Oh, the plan commission approved the same thing as JPC.
right, with the conditions, right?
The only condition we put on was the fact that there be something registered, same as the first issue. If lot 3 is sold or if the building permit, that there's something, whether it's deeded or if it's an easement for whoever owns that property. As far as the restrictions for the driveway, and I believe that had to do with something with width, our township does not have an ordinance or anything about the width of a private driveway. We do control the size of the culverts.
Plan commission addressed everything that was brought up by joint planning.
Okay.
So we don't have a minimum length of a culvert that we're putting in, we have a minimum diameter.
1824.
That's the inch size.
18 inch by 24.
Right.
So you're gonna,
Minimum was 18.
Right.
1824. 18 diameter, 24 wide.
so the driveway should be minimum of 1 foot. Unless you want longer.
No, it's just that the driveway entrance has to have that culvert. The driveway itself has to have 3-foot aprons on each side. So you could have a 10-foot driveway with 16 feet accessing the road.
How many times have we gone bigger over the years, Dave? If somebody wanted a 30-foot culvert put in on the end.
What's that?
How many times have we gone bigger? If somebody wanted a 30-foot driveway access off the road? That just,
Well, I think on a farm driveway, that's
That's
admissible
pretty much
because of size, equipment that's going in and out.
These are just minimums, the way I had read this stuff.
1824 is good.
single, okay.
Yep.
Because it also changes too with the height of how deep the ditch is. Because if you have your angles, then if they need more, then that's up to them. Any further discussion? There's no further discussion?
Do we need to amend the motion to correct the certification?
Yes.
Kevin, you want to amend your motion to include updating the certification on page 2 then?
I will. Does that, we still sign everything and we just wait for that to come back? We need that map to come back before we sign, which would mean we just stop down and sign when that map is updated in our hands.
The only one to sign is Rod.
Okay,
Sure.
that's a motion to include.
Amended to include the corrected certification on the second page. Did I mention that? That's what I heard. I just confirmed it. Okay.
I'm just not arguing with you. Whatever you say.
I second that. If you need that.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? No further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against say nay. Ayes have it.
Andrew, I'll get in touch with, the name that I can't think of right now.
Freeman?
Thank you.
Sure.
Tomorrow, and then get that to you as soon as I got a copy of the signatures page.
2022 ambulance contract.
Penny.
Oh, I'm hoping that you have it. I don't have it.
Total is $62,057 in 2 equal payments in February and August. So this starts January 1st, 2022. And the renewal period and time on such terms and conditions as mutually agreed upon by parties. If renewed, the renewal should be agreed upon no later than November 30th, 2022, or the 15th day of October of any subsequent year of a renewal term. So we're late, but.
They didn't get it to us.
That's true. It's, yeah, that's true.
This is with Marshfield, I assume, right?
Yes, City of Marshfield. So their letters, the city council approved this on November 9th with recommendations from Finance, Budget, and Personnel and the Police and Fire Commission. They've got contracts with 13 municipalities. In 2020, with COVID, their recommendation was not to raise the rates for 2021. The proposed increase is a 5% increase for 2022. And they say it's slightly less than the 5.7% increase in the Consumer Price Index.
Oh,
Sorry.
it's 5% of that 62,000 number that you listed off, or is that our new?
No, that's your total, $62,000. $62,057. We split it, so $31,028.50 paid in February, and the other is paid in August.
Okay, I make a
Which-
motion to approve the 2022 ambulance contract paid twice a year.
Second.
I have a motion, a second, to approve the 2022 ambulance contract. Any further discussion? Yes.
Have they changed any of their conditions and requirements on that contract from last year?
It's boilerplate contract, I don't know what
Can I take a look at it?
you're looking for.
The main things I'm looking for is how many people are we responding out in the ambulance with? Are they doing this lift assist with us, or are we doing lift assist on our own? And do they also have listed in there all the area hospitals that they can take our
Area hospitals are listed.
Okay. The ambulance crew, how many does it say is coming out?
Says if the ambulance is called for a vehicle accident, the fire department responds. We pay the city, there's nothing in here about lift assist.
Is there anything today about a lift assist?
Just so you are all aware, when we get a 911 call and the patient says, I've fallen down and I just need help getting up, Marshfield Ambulance does not come to those calls. It is only the EMTs from our group. We go, we assess the patient. If we can get them up and their vitals are fine, we don't have to have Marshfield come out. If we take vitals and it's not right and we have them come out, then it's a delay to call them because we've already been on scene for 10, 15 minutes already assessing this patient. So that's my question. Are they holding true to that again this year, that they will not respond to lift assist?
Yes.
Okay, because
But
our
doesn't
county
matter, so we've
dispatch
already approved the contract.
gets into a fight with Marshfield because Marshfield declined the call. And I tried to smooth the waters with our county, saying it's in our contract agreement that they don't come to lift assist. So there are,
Unless we have nobody available.
unless we have nobody available to go because of work, whatever. But 9 times out of 10, lift assist Marshfield does not come up for.
And that's just based upon the initial 911 call where they say you've fallen and they can't get up, or they just need help getting up?
If they fall and they can't get up, they'll page us out for a lift assist. That's when we go use our skills as EMTs to assess the patient. If a vital is not right, or they're confused or something like that, then we'll get on the radio and have Marathon County dispatch Marshfield ambulance. But if we can go assess them, vitals are good, everything's fine, we can help them up and we don't need Marshfield to come out.
Which also saves in an ambulance bill.
In the last 2 contracts, they had specifically stated in there that they will not respond to lift assists. And I just wanted to make sure that that wording was in there again, and they're consistent with it. Because our dispatch has an issue with them not coming over for lift assist, and I've explained it, I've sent them copies of our contracts.
So if you're laying there gasping your last, you know, somebody calls 911 for you, you got, the ambulance ain't gonna come out?
That's not a lift
I
assist.
couldn't understand her because she was talking away from me.
The lift,
Am I right or am I wrong?
if it's a lift assist, like if you fall down, George, and you say, okay, I've fallen up, I just can't get myself up, and you call 911 for that help,
I can get the camera guy with a life alert. Okay, go ahead.
okay, we will come, see if your vitals are good, any medical conditions, are you feeling okay, are you hurt? If you tell us you're hurt somewhere, we will call.
Okay, I'm all right,
911
I
back.
understand, but okay, if I'm laying there gasping my last, I sure as hell don't want you guys showing up. I want an ambulance to drive my fat ass up to the hospital.
That all depends upon what you tell the dispatcher when they ask their series of
Oh.
questions.
All right, okay, I understand.
Because when you call 911, the dispatcher has a script that they have to ask you. And
So
you're
if I'm
like,
laying there gasping, I ain't gonna go, I ain't gonna answer
then,
nothing.
then whoever called 911 for you will have to answer that
I'm
series of
screwed, she would
questions.
never call.
You're gonna die.
I'm gonna die.
And the way they dispatch it out is based on how you answer that series of
Transfer it to
questions.
them,
So then we just send in copies of the contract to
Thank you.
dispatch, so that way we know what this is.
Once you guys sign it, then I'll take care of sending it to dispatch
Thank you.
to make sure they have the correct wording.
Exactly.
Because it's not like you can even negotiate with them or anything.
Dumpster time. That's right, they're weight limit on it.
Any further discussion? Since there's no further discussion, all those in favor say aye.
Can I holler at them guys and tell them to shut up? Hey, you guys, shut up, we're trying to hear up here. Jesus Christ. My seeing eye dog and my hearing eye dog.
I lost track, sorry.
Yeah, that's right.
Hey, it worked.
Moving to number 12, set a date for the budget workshop.
When do you want to do it?
What do you mean by budget workshop?
Tom asked for it, that's why it's worded that way, but I'm assuming the end of the year
No, it's.
budget workshop, okay.
Do we have corrections?
This again, don't shoot. Now that we got all our numbers and everything, figure everything out. Or are you okay with where it's at?
No, I'm fine with that.
And then if there's corrections we need to make to the recall.
I would like to meet one more time.
Yeah, when do you want to do it? Pick a date.
You guys pick a day. If it's not snowing, I'll be here.
Well, I have recycling on the first, or days in December, so let's avoid recycling. And you're thinking before December 31st, right? So this week or next week?
You have to do it before the end of the year, so.
So next Monday is the,
I know it won't be snowing on Wednesday, but it might have to salt.
This week?
Yeah,
Nah, it's gonna be 60 degrees and 50
that's what I'm
miles an
saying.
hour.
Well, we're supposed to get rain, so I don't know if it'll be salting. So I'm thinking we can get it done and over with.
I can't do it until 6 o'clock.
Okay,
I have a Christmas concert, so.
okay. Well, I'm actually open all week next week, so. You open any specific night?
This week?
Next week?
20?
The 20th to the 24th?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
good. You open? Ron, you open?
Yeah.
Okay. So you wanna do a Monday night?
I think so. The earlier
The
the better.
20th? Should I agree to shoot for the 20th? 6 o'clock, okay?
That works fine for me.
Okay. So I make a motion that we set the date for the budget workshop for December 20th at 6 o'clock.
Sorry.
A motion and a second to have a budget workshop on Monday the 20th at 6 o'clock. Any further discussion?
PM. Correct.
Central time.
PM. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against say nay. Ayes have it. meeting. Set the date for the end of the year special meeting.
I make a motion to set the date for the year special, for year end of, end of year special meeting.
For,
Got a date in mind?
What date?
I don't know. I'm just making the motion.
how about December 30th, which is a Thursday?
Perfect, we're on. 6 PM? Does that work for
Sure.
everybody? What do we talk about at these special meetings?
That's the,
The end of the year meeting is where you pay all the bills, and you pay everybody their payroll through the end of the year, and you do it on the 30th, so I still have the 31st to get all the reports into the government agencies.
Oh,
You're pretty much paying everything before the end of the year, because otherwise, it
oh,
waits till January, and you got a 2021 expense in 2022.
okay.
Nobody likes that.
So
That's fine. I
Kevin,
can-
you seconded that motion, correct? Thank you. Are we going to plan on sending this agenda to the attorney before the meeting? If we are, then the deadline for getting the agenda items and getting the payroll and everything else would be the 27th, 28th at the very latest.
The minimal stuff on the agenda, I don't believe that we can use.
Okay. Then I would still like payroll by Tuesday.
I'll make sure the fire department stuff is there for you.
Thank you. Which means I need all your time cards
By Tuesday, the 22nd,
by December 28th.
28th, okay.
Are you, what hours are you here for
That
that
would
week?
depend on you can just email it if you want to scan it.
Oh, okay, just snap a picture of it.
Yeah.
You're dropping in your box.
Pictures are less desirable than PDF, but they are accepted.
Okay, we're on the next one?
Appointment of election inspectors.
I would just ask that you make a motion to table this till the end of the meeting, end of the year meeting, because I've not had a chance to contact all the nominees from the political parties.
I'll make the motion.
Thank you.
Oh, second. We're tabling it till December 30th.
Any further discussion? If there is none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those against say nay. Table.
The caucus is usually the same day as your board meeting at 6 PM, so it looks January 10th at 6 o'clock.
I make a motion to set the date of January 10th for the caucus, January 10th, 2022. for the caucus.
That is correct.
Second, 6 P.M.?
6
Yes,
PM.
6 PM.
And if either of the two of the supervisors who are up for election don't plan on running, I need to see me before the 31st of December. I have a form for you.
And for those of you who don't know, that's me and Kevin. Or Kevin and I.
I stopped running years ago.
Is that what you look like, Santa?
We're on 15, right?
January 10th
January 10th
At 6 PM
at
6 p.m.
is the caucus. 7 PM is our normal scheduled meeting.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against say nay. Ayes have it. Set. Part-time highway employees. Tom, do you have anything to add that you didn't put into your report?
No, except for, I'll get with Patty and we'll get something out there.
So do we just make a motion to look for a part-time highway employee?
Or like, will we have to post an ad in the paper or something? to advertise?
I'm guessing that's what we'll do.
We don't have to actually take any action on this. Some of this stuff stemmed from some stuff that happened this week. I talked to Patty and Tom. in lieu of not having a backup for Pat, and if something happened to Pat, what we were gonna do. Emergency situation, I guess there's requirements. I didn't think you had to have the requirements if you stayed in the township. I think if you left the township, then you have to, but if you had to run to the city or county garage to get salt, you'd be leaving the township. I said at the point, if something happened and Pat couldn't do it, I would jump into a truck and do it. I don't care. Wouldn't have to, as far as I'm concerned, be reimbursed for it or whatever else, but it wasn't gonna be after 17 hours in my county truck, it was gonna be Sunday. So you're just gonna have to deal with it, however that works out.
Is this expectation that they're always gonna help Pat, or is this only for like severe storms, or is this like
We should find somebody to help Pat when Pat needs that help, and that's basically in snowstorms, yes. Yes. Otherwise, Pat's gonna be in the truck for, I can't imagine he's in there for.
The last storm was, I believe Pat did roughly, just rough numbers, roughly about 10 hours, and I put roughly about 8 hours in.
I mean, was that so? I'm just trying to.
No, I'm just,
Yeah.
the thing is, some of the he scrapes some.
Part-time, right?
It's not worth.
Part-time.
Yeah.
So it's,
I mean, I get it, I just
So
don't
it's-
know.
yeah.
I
No,
don't-
that's fine.
And I can just look out here right now and see two individuals that are probably qualified in emergency situation to jump in and would help out maybe.
In a pinch, yeah. Do I want to? No.
Well, I don't want
Are you looking at Dorothy?
So that's all I have.
yeah, you know.
Yeah, it's pretty sad, eh? When the resident have to plow their
Do we
own
need,
road.
so that you guys can post it before, we don't have to wait 30 days to post, do we need, because we have that in there, can we say that you're gonna post for the position, if you guys decide to?
I think we need to, I mean.
I mean, I think we do
I think
too.
we do also. We do
So
need
do
We
we need a
need
motion
somebody.
for that, or?
I honestly don't know why you're posting it, because
'Cause you
I don't think we
Every-
did for trouble.
every time somebody's
Brady
hired,
Rodman,
this
you did, I
question
don't
comes up.
No, because we're looking for somebody.
You
just
were the
so
chair
that
when the
right
last
back,
time
that
it came
becomes
If it turns
We
into.
didn't
a part-time,
Part-time
full-time
person.
position, then we may, I mean, then, but I never, I mean, there's nothing done that way, Rod, you can be the third person, Gene and Pat are the primaries, and then that's the way that happened, so. And right now, we're just looking for somebody that's qualified and can do it.
So you want a posting for a part-time highway employee, what if we don't have a job description for this? Does that have to come back to the board to create a job description?
Did we post for Gene? Did we just come in and
Gene's
vote?
been here for.
Gene's been
100
here
years,
for
but
almost as long as
I know,
Pat's been
I
here.
just, you know, this is new to me too, so that's why I'm asking. I just,
I can't answer
we
that
have
question.
to get somebody in for, you know, fill-in right now. And if it turns into when I get an answer on whether he's thinking he's gonna be coming back or not, then maybe we go forward with posting it to fill that position.
You're still
And
covered.
that's
with-
what I was thinking of when I was calling these people, is like, can you just help me for like a month to get us through this? So
Right.
that I can get a decision out of the guy that's doing it now, whether or not he thinks he's gonna be able to come back, or should I post this?
Yeah.
You have someone sitting on the board that has already held this position. All you need is a board, a motion and approval by the board for Rod to continue being part-time. And he can get paid, then he can do it, and you can figure out what's gonna happen with Gene when he comes back.
Correction on that, you guys can do that except for the payment part. If I would receive any payment at all for that, it has to come out of the electorals, which would be at our annual meeting.
No, that's not true.
That's not true.
That is not true.
You're wrong on that, Rod.
That is not true.
You can be
That is-
appointed for a part-time employee and get the wage you got before, and you would just be continuing. Because you were never let go, were you?
Nope.
Do you have these requirements?
What requirement?
The CDL and the air brake
Yes.
endorsement?
Kinda late to ask, you already did it.
Well, I didn't know what the
In
requirements
an
were.
emergency situation, you don't need that. The
restriction
There's
on
an actual
Rod
state
is how much you
statute
can make in a year
chapter
doing
82 that
that,
says it.
being an elected official. There's a restriction on how much you can make.
I had talked to the lawyer when we were doing the agenda. I had asked him about this specific thing because I knew out of the question would come up. And he said that I cannot receive, even though I had received and the wage had been set for me, but now that I am chair, it needs to be done by the electorals. It cannot
He
be
is
done by the
giving
board.
completely different advice on the same situation that he did 2 years ago. Just
Well, I'm not gonna say that that's
I'm
not.
just saying.
I'm just saying what I
How the hell
got.
did Dave get paid then as a part-time employee?
I don't know. I do
Dave was
not
never
know.
paid
All I
as a
know is that's
part-time
what I was
employee.
told when I asked
Yeah,
the
he was.
question
He
to.
wasn't supposed to be, but he was. Because that was never board approved.
Well, I think somebody needs to get paid to do the job. If we have somebody that's doing the backup, that's great. We just need to figure out where this money's coming from.
It's already budgeted.
That's in the budget.
It's budgeted
Oh.
in the highway wages for Gene and Pat. If Gene's not there, then somebody else can get paid. The question is, what is the rate? Because when he was not on the board and working, he was paid as a laborer, except he got $1 more if he was in a truck. Gene makes more.
At this point in the game, I'm going back out into the audience. I'm feeling very uncomfortable here.
No, it could, this isn't gonna, no.
Okay.
It doesn't affect.
You just don't vote.
You can stay out there, you just can't vote.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, if they're gonna vote on
Again,
him, we're still, there's no motion.
No, again, a lot of this just is stemmed with two situations that potentially, could have happened this week through a snowstorm. And my question was, how are we gonna cover this? I can jump into a truck, but I'm not gonna sit in my other truck for 17 hours and sit in this when I need to go back to work. If it would have been, something happened and it wouldn't be till late Saturday or Sunday, then I wouldn't have had a problem coming in and jumping in the truck, which led to what's our backup plan if we need one. And again, I look out here and there's two individuals out here, which are probably qualified. One may have a blue shirt on or purple shirt. That would be more than
I have
one.
in my pocket where they're breaking ghost ones, I don't know.
Your name is on the list, by the way.
So what I'm hearing you say is we don't have really any action we need to take because it's a part-time position? Because in the past, we haven't.
No.
We can put that on the agenda for next month and come back with the qualifications of what you need. I'm just,
Okay.
my concern is
Part-time, right now.
Between now and.
right now, today.
Exactly,
And I
exactly.
can look
That's
out
my
here
concern.
and I can say, Kurt, if something happened right now today, would you be available for the township in an emergency situation?
Depending on the day, if I'm out of town, no.
Correct.
You're opening up yourself for all kinds of question and everything else, because over the weekend, it was definitely an emergency. You just found
Right.
out that this guy is sick and this guy can't do it,
Yep.
and we need somebody in the truck.
Yeah.
It's on your agenda.
For emergency?
Pull the trigger.
Part-time highway employees.
Correct.
Yeah.
You,
So we just need to set the rate, basically now.
you need to figure out what you want done. Do you want a posting? Do you want to have the highway supervisor go and look at candidates without doing the posting? What's the rate? What's the job description?
I personally,
What do you want
myself, I personally want to try and find somebody right now for part-time, so these two don't have to jump in a truck. Somebody that's willing to come and do this part-time, until I can get an answer from Gene, specifically Gene, not family members, Gene, to say, I probably am not gonna be coming back, go ahead and post this job. Or I will not be coming back, come and post this job.
Then you're not looking at a
And that's
part-time
what I'm-
employee, number one, you're looking at an on-call employee.
Exactly, it would be an on-call.
Yeah.
Well, that's not
Yeah.
on the agenda.
Well,
Nicole. It is as part-time, because I'm called
I'm
as a
just-
working.
hold on. Please.
I know.
I'm gonna get through this. So,
Yeah, my question that I had when I talked to Patty was the legality parts of it and
Right.
what qualifies, what doesn't qualify for this stuff.
okay.
If we have that specific, she's got that look on her face like she has the answers. No. Then we have to table it till next month and we go from there. If an emergency situation were to arise between now and then, we probably have an eligibility list of people we can call,
Yeah.
which qualifies under the emergency situation. That we can worry about
Okay.
legalities later.
Okay.
So right now, it's day to day, you don't know.
Correct. It is dangerous.
And it's not that Gene has to be replaced.
Correct. We may just need some time.
But if
Right.
we need them,
Pat can do it all. It's just,
And I
it's the
can't.
way it is.
I can't talk to him, so I can't get that answer.
Right.
So I just, right now it's day to day, so let's just take it day to day.
Well, if we get a big snowstorm, stick Rod in the truck, it's an emergency situation and plow the damn road.
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
But if we
Yeah.
have, if any of these on-call people do it, we have to make sure they're on our payroll, right? And they're American citizens and all this other stuff.
Here's your solution, sitting right here. All you gotta do, because he's been elected chair since April, is approve him as the on-call part-time highway. Unless you're not gonna do that based off the information that you were given from the attorney, because
Payment was the only thing
I would
The
really
rest of
love
it-
to know where he came up with that one, because 2 years ago he gave completely different.
Well, think back, Ronnie Nervous was constable, remember? And he was also a part-time employee for Pat. He got paid in both situations.
That was before Lee gave his advice.
Well, it was probably right.
I understand that, but I'm just saying, that was.
We'll do a little more research before I
Before
would
we-
receive any payment on it. but
Then
I
do it
guess
for nothing.
Exactly. I'm there. So, I mean, as long as the board is okay with me jumping in the truck and taking care of it.
Okay, then I'll make a motion to have Rod as our third person backup.
How about a
On call.
motion to approve the hiring of Rod Bauer as a part-time highway with no pay?
Throw me
I'm
in.
kidding about the last part, it was a joke. I need to know.
And
I know what he's getting at because of the elected portion of it.
Kevin
That's what he's getting at.
to be
Fourth?
a fourth to jump in the truck in emergency situations.
You don't need to make an
Okay.
you don't, the emergency part of it,
Right.
I could get in the truck and drive it.
Okay.
As long as you can intelligently articulate the emergency, which you had it this past weekend, anybody can get in that truck. You don't need a CDL or the air unless you leave.
Unless you leave the township.
Okay.
So, yeah, the motion for the emergency is,
So that we can have Ron and Kevin on that motion.
And then are we going to talk about payment?
but you're looking, oh, okay.
I think those rates are already set.
Just that,
Yeah, but we,
I think the part-time guys were getting 14.
Unless they were plowing, then they were getting 15.
But 15 when they were driving.
No, that was set for Rod specifically.
Right.
Schneider is different.
How long was Schneider here?
I don't know.
Like I said, since
Before
the
my
beginning of
time.
time.
Yeah, for most of us.
I just think we're overthinking this. The whole thing was about the emergency situation, and then if we have to replace Gene at some point,
Take a different step.
we can. Rod can replace Gene, I can replace Gene, we don't get paid to do it. Rod may have more flexibility in time, if I have to do it, it's gonna be when I'm not in that, and recover from that. Again, there's emergency situation out here, if he's willing to, an emergency. Because if we have an emergency, you gotta have somebody here doing it during that time, I'm in my, Rod may be working, it's just.
Right.
So it's good, Patty, or?
What do you have a motion, you don't have a second?
I feel like they need to get paid, especially if we have
Yeah.
3 snowstorms. I don't think it's fair that you're volunteering if we need you 24 hours a week. I don't think that's
No.
realistic, in my opinion.
The odds of me having to do it are slim to none.
Right, but the odds of Rod doing it, if we get snow on Monday and Wednesday, Thursday, and then Saturday again, I feel like volunteering some hours is okay, but not,
I think you need to pay him, probably 18, same as what Gene was getting, this is just my opinion, because you're putting the guy on call.
Yeah, I was gonna say equal pay for equal work.
Yes.
So before we get to the discussion part of things, can you like finish the motion and give a second? Please?
didn't we do it?
Well, he was finishing the motion to include Kevin, and that's as far as we got, so I'll second that motion.
Thank you. Now, discussion. What are you gonna pay?
Well, I say the same as Jean. I mean, we have to take care of our township and it's.
Yeah, well, guess what? I'm gonna call the vote because these two aren't gonna vote.
These two?
You're
Oh,
hiring
okay.
them.
I wasn't sure who the second one was, I'm sorry.
Kevin, yeah.
Yeah, it's, we've been here for almost 3 hours.
Right? We all need a nap. Any more discussion?
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained?
Abstain?
Thank you.
That'd be you.
That'd be you.
So again, in a secondary level, in emergency, well, Rod kind of has it covered, but in emergency, there's still, you have your list of eligibility people that have.
So he doesn't have one.
And you get the
Welcome to the
plow,
big times.
Birch Tree Road.
You can do that with your snow blower.
All right, 16's done now?
Yeah.
Yes. Moving on to 17, employee Christmas bonus.
I brought it up, Patty.
Did we get one? What, we gotta make a motion, how do we word it?
You don't, you're not an employee.
That's okay.
Goes to Patty, Pat, to Gene.
In the past, so for 2020, Pat got $200. In 2019, he got $2,500. In 2020, Gene got 100. In 2019, he got 100. In 2020, I got 500. In 2019, I got 100. Steve in 2020 got 150. In 2019, 100. And Gene and Rod, for 2020 and 2019 got $100. That was a Christmas bonus. Prior to that, we got Mackey gift certificates.
Those expired.
No, like you don't do those. If you want to do Mackey gift certificates, you can keep mine, give somebody else. Just saying.
Do a paycheck, put the taxes on it, pay it out, be done.
Oh, what rate do we wanna do this at? I'm so tired.
Patty, if I make a motion first, and then we can set limits after we get a second,
Well, then you gotta amend your motion,
so you wanna talk first?
if you're not setting, yeah.
Okay. Are you guys good with 200 across the board?
Goes back to the edge again, do we have money for it?
Well, and that's why I'm asking. So what is that, so you got?
1, 2, 3, 4.
Question for you, before you get going too far, you're excluding me out of this time around, right?
Yeah, you can't
Yeah,
do
me
that.
too.
Good, okay, excluded out, there, now you're
You're
talking.
not even in, you're not even in the mix.
Yeah,
That's
You
what I
were, you were
wanted.
just history.
That's what I wanted, I
You were
didn't
history.
wanna, yes.
So we have Pat, Jean, Patty, and Steve. 4.
Yes.
Yes.
And what did you guys get last year again, Patty?
Last year, Pat got 200, Gene got 100, Steve got 150, and I got 500.
And the reason Patty had gotten 500 is because we had 5 elections that year, and maybe she needed the extra bonus.
With COVID.
but it was a big year, so.
You should up your calls for COVID. Anyway, sorry.
What do you guys think? Any thoughts?
I don't get any bonus at the county.
You get to keep your job.
I don't want.
This is hard.
This is our first time for me, so
Yeah.
I don't know.
So I feel like I work with Patty the most. I mean, they all do a great job. I mean, with the roads and everything else, everybody, teamwork makes the dream work, is what I say. So, do we have money in the budget for $800 to put towards a Christmas party?
You're gonna go over on each individual line item other than maybe the highway. Highway might be, but there wasn't anything budgeted for a bonus in any of those line items. The category, probably not.
Was there in past years?
No.
I think it would just take out of administrative.
No, it's all.
But if it's gonna be a payroll check, it has to go on a payroll line item. So you gotta match the social security and Medicare for it.
I mean, people make the township.
I got a suggestion, whatever you guys decide, boost Gene Schneider's up. It probably mean a lot to him. What the hell did you get
We
me
did.
last time, right?
It was boosted $100. If I put it out there to go with 200, last year you got 100.
Yeah, I think 200 would be, or especially with, obviously you got some health problems or whatever the hell, probably mean a lot to him.
Yeah, I mean, you think about it, today, $200 doesn't go real far.
It ain't much.
It isn't.
I think that would be a minimum.
I make the motion.
We'll figure out where we get
Yep, I second that motion of $200 for each. Oh, wait, hold on. Please hold.
I don't think there is a.
Are you looking at it as a whole?
That's the whole.
Do this one.
$50 short.
It's about the same.
About the same.
I think that, you always get to review at the end of the year, but, yeah, I think that's okay. Do you wanna list it off? Do you wanna make the
Just
motion?
pass it on. I'll make the
Yeah. I was thinking, I don't know that, Brand?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, ready, Patty?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll make the motion for the employee Christmas bonus. Pat, $250. Jean, $200. Patty, $350. And Steve, $200.
Only on-call employees. So you only get an on-call bonus, which is nothing right now.
Thanks, guys.
I second that.
Thank you. Any further discussion on that? So it's reason none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against say nay. Ayes have it. Comments from the visitors and the public?
They all left.
Yeah, George is always here.
Michelle?
Hello, once again, I'm here regarding the website. Today I'm here with a working prototype of McMillanMeetings.us. I bought the domain McMillanMeetingsUS and built a sample website with working links to town board meeting agendas and minutes, I only used a few because that's all I had available to me. McMillanMeetings.us is a mobile responsive website, so it'll look great on a computer, tablet, or smartphone. Currently, McMillanMeetings.us has a section for town board as well as the planning commission, but could be expanded to include other bodies and entire meeting packets as well. We could also include bylaws. If people aren't aware of the bylaws, how can they be held accountable? And monthly budget to actual expenditures. There was discussion tonight about whether or not the fire department had money left in their budget. That could have been addressed easily with this information being available. There's a section where we could file current and previous newsletters, a section to sign up and get emailed notices, and a calendar that could list community events. I created McMillanMeetings@gmail.com email address to store the files, maintain the calendar, and track email notice requests. I did not make this website to be a competitor for our current town website or McMillanNews.com. I hope that it could be a stopgap measure to allow this sort of information to be posted online quickly and have that info easily accessible to the citizens of McMillan so that they do not need to go to a postal location daily to check if there's a regular or special meeting happening the next day. Citizens that are not here today are not aware of the special meeting on 12/30 now. Furthermore, they could just simply have the agenda emailed to them. If they sign up on this mailing list, it comes immediately once it's sent to me. So I'm willing to maintain McMillanMeetings.us as a service to the community as long as Patty will share the necessary documents with me, or I can provide Patty with the credentials and she can maintain it herself. Thank you.
What'd that cost, John?
$2.
Oh,
And it does look nice.
does it?
I looked at
It's live now. You can go on it tonight and you can look at it and pick it up. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, John. All right, George.
I don't have to raise my hand, that's nice.
Well,
I don't know who came up with the idea of putting the comment session to the end of the meeting, but it's a good idea, I like it. Because I was coming in tonight, I just really had nothing, so now I do. And that's, I think, you guys. Hey, what can I tell you? I don't know if Kevin touched on that, because I couldn't understand what he was mumbling about before. That cable that got cut, is that installed now or no?
No, we're gonna look at it tonight, and I'm gonna talk to Gary and he can just do it. No, it came in, it's gotta get installed.
Okay. And Tom, this one's for you. Remember when I mentioned something about that cable and Digger's hotline and whatnot, and you said that they wouldn't come out for that? Well, it just so happened I was going to Spencer after that meeting, and I seen Digger's hotline van.
Mm-hmm.
So guess who stopped and asked him? And you know what he told me? He said, absolutely would have.
We've never had that done.
I don't care if you ever did or not, I'm just telling you, this is the guy that was doing the goddamn thing. That's what he told me.
That's fine, George. That's fine.
Okay, I'm just telling you.
Hey, that's actually good information. Do you know what
You're
company that
welcome.
was?
Pardon me?
Seriously, do you know what company that was by chance?
It just said Digger's hotline.
There's two that come around Marshfield area.
No, I don't know.
And they have never done that for us on a job site.
They never did before.
Ever.
No, that's what the guy said.
And we've asked him.
He was a young guy, maybe he was blowing smoke at my ass, I don't know, but that's what he said.
Yeah.
Okay,
Well, honestly, thank you for doing that,
you are
because
very
I will
welcome.
ask them next time.
That's what I'm here for, to
Seriously?
serve.
No, I'm serious.
So am I.
That is because.
You think I come up here at these meetings for shits and
Because
giggles?
it's a sincere thank you, because I go through this all the time. And for you to stop and ask that, thank you. I appreciate that.
That's the patriot in me.
Hell, they never did before. They bring the utility up to your house.
Okay, point of order, tell them to shut the gap. Okay, now on this.
Quiet in the back. Thank you.
When you guys are, just to review the budget, whenever that's gonna be, are residents going to get a chance to look at this, the budget or whatever you come up with? Afterwards, after that?
Well, yeah, because they have to approve it before the end of the, at the end of the year meeting.
Then, all I'm asking you is, you're gonna have, you're ready, you got you're gonna review the budget coming up here, whatever, in 2 weeks or a week or whatever, right?
Next week.
Well, whatever.
Yes.
And whatever you come up with, are residents going to have a chance to see what you come up with?
Meetings are open, anybody's welcome to come in.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, that's fun to know that. Otherwise, I was gonna get into the transparency thing. Okay, now this one is kinda, I probably shouldn't say nothing about this, but I'll tell you what, Rod, you have in your agenda approved by the attorney is wrong. Plain and simple, WRONG, wrong. You're the chairman. You're the guy that's supposed to be in charge of the meeting and all this and that. You should be able to come up with an agenda without pissing away money to an attorney. And sure, he's gonna take the money, I mean, no doubt about it. You know, he's gonna do it, you know, I'm sure it's gonna cost, am I correct?
Correct.
Yeah. And so why, you know, I mean, this township is in a money bind anyhow. And yeah, maybe it's only $100 here and $100 there, but all of a sudden, you're gonna end up just like the previous chairman before this one, okay? And I'm gonna show you right here, 29,000, I can give you the numbers. 29,000, hang on, you ain't going over anything. Shit, now I can't find it. But I got it. It's almost $30,000 for an attorney. And all that was at that point, was she was gonna show everybody. She was gonna show everybody, so. I mean, you might wanna give some thought to that. I mean, let's be real. If you can't come up with an agenda, and for Christ's sake, get it worded the way it should be, so you don't have all the discussion like there was on the one tonight, you know. All you had is to, you know, approve or disapprove. I mean, Jesus. So I think that's all I got for tonight. I'm gonna leave you off easy.
Thank you.
Thanks, George.
Is there anyone else?
Huh?
I asked if there was anyone else. You said you were done.
Yeah, I'm done.
Question. So I went to the fire station to start filling out this grant application. One of the questions is, do we have a FEMA Go account? And I asked Patty that, and she said no. So to even do this application, we have to create a FEMA Go account. So can I do that under the fire department and then just switch over to the township if you need to apply for a FEMA grant? Otherwise, I can't do this grant.
Why don't we just start it with the township and we
Yeah,
just give
because
the
the grant
information?
is through the township, the funds.
Yes.
Yes,
So we would-
because they also asked for like a checking account or something to put when we get, if we get the grant to shove the money into.
I'll get you those numbers.
I think it makes sense to start with the township, if Patty can do that right away, because that's where all the accounts are and everything else.
It's up to you guys.
So,
To get it started tonight,
So
we need
is
to
that a
create
new
this.
thing then? for-
It is. It is. It's
So is
just,
that something we're gonna need for
Yes.
other grants?
for any FEMA grant going here on out, you will have to go on FEMAGO.gov to fill out your application, because that's the new platform that we decided to use.
So once we create it, we'll be reusing it.
Correct.
So it would make sense for Patty to set that up, and she doesn't have anything to do.
so
Just do it, use my email address.
is that something you can do the footwork on?
Oh, absolutely.
And then Patty can just fill in a couple blanks and send it in?
It's just you fill it all out and I can get right on the application tonight yet. I just didn't want to go ahead and do it without.
You have Patty's information?
If they got
Yes.
that, if they have that double authentication,
Mhm.
put the cell phone in there instead of the email address,
Okay.
because that'll get done right away.
I just didn't want to go ahead and do this and then come and say, oops, guess what, I had to do this and you all didn't know about it. I just wanted to make sure. we
I
had-
think it's fair too, if you run into more roadblocks, because you're on a new platform,
Mhm.
if you contact Patty,
Okay.
and Patty can contact us, and if we run into
Yeah,
more
no.
problems, because we don't want to hold you up.
Oh, no, I know.
3 days.
I get it, I understand, I just left the meeting, went over and started saying, oh, shoot. So then I had to
Much
come
about
back.
technology.
I know, I just wanted to make sure you guys were okay with it.
Yes.
Okay,
Thanks for
good.
asking. Do you want this back, this water report?
No, I got a copy, thank you.
Aaron would like your number, so I get your number.
Yeah.
After, and I can.
Anybody else? I made a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I'll second that.
discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against say nay. Meeting adjourned.
What?
I'm making you.
How long have you been in this country? Oh, really?
Kurt, it's good to see you. How's your,
Been what, like 2 days now?
how's your freezer smelling like weekend?
I have a grandson coming home Friday.
Oh, he's coming back.
Yeah, he's in San Diego now. He went to Sacramento for the weekend. He went skydiving and shooting guns, 12-gauge sawed-off shotgun. They were playing with them.
Well, he was out of Camp Hansen, wasn't he? On Okinawa?
Yeah, he was, and now he's back in San Diego.
Did he do any spy rigging while he was there?